way. But here we go again. It's going to be watching on CNN.
All right. Well, I believe we're live on the YouTubes. We're going to see if CNN comes after us and wants to eradicate my channel for. Hey, Troubled, how you doing, brother? There you go. Well, and somebody showed up. I've got a very small picture on my camera, but everything's running vertical. I need to let me go on my other phone here and see how it looks.
A pivotal moment between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump in their rematch for the nation's highest office.
Is that loud enough, Trouble, to be able to? Can you hear that clearly?
Until Election Day. Good evening, I'm Dana Bash, anchor of CNN's Inside Politics and co-anchor of State of the Union.
I'm Vic Tapper, anchor of CNN's The Lead.
So, yeah, we're here. I've got it.
To co-moderate this evening, I got to facilitate a debate between the two candidates tonight. Before we introduce them, we want to share the rules of the debate with the audience.
Awesome, brother. Thank you.
President Trump will be on the left side of the screen.
I'll be, I know I might be pausing it in between.
Determine their position. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer a question,
or
and 1 minute each for responses, and
it looks like
an additional minute for follow-up clarification or
on my phone here.
Moderator's discretion.
And it's time for a candidate. Microphone will be turned on.
Watch right now. I'm on
turned off. The candidate interrupts when his microphone is muted. He will be difficult to understand for viewers at home. At the end of the debate, each candidate will get 2 minutes. There is no studio audience tonight. Any written notes, props, or contacts with campaign staff are not permitted during the debate. Accepting our invitation to debate, both candidates and their campaigns agreed to accept these rules.
Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United
States. Hey, Panama, what's going on, brother? Here he comes. Is he juiced? Are they going to shake hands? That's been the question. Would you shake his hand? If I was Trump, I wouldn't want to touch him.
Welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump.
And again, no, let's see, is Trump going to be the bigger man and go over, or is he going to? No, they have no love at all to show.
Let's begin the debate, and let's start with the issue that.
And remember, Jake Tapper, this is the piece of shit who called him a Nazi. Just
President Biden, inflation has slowed, but prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
I'm going to take a look at what I was left when I became president.
Listen to his voice.
Pandemic was so bad.
Trump looked over like, holy crap.
All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a boost in your arm. It'll be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible.
See, are they going to let him just lie?
Back together again. That's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought out a position where we have 800,000 manufacturing jobs.
All right, well, that's not right. We can't do that. It's got to, we're going to have to flip it. Let's see if that, all right, there we go. I saw my phone. You guys didn't tell me it was you were at the cockeyed.
And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of
no shit, he sounds terrible, doesn't he? All right, well, there we go. Now we got a real view.
We make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. It's a combination.
I don't know why it won't let me go full screen on my TV, on my phone.
That, in a situation where if you had to look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos. Literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We made sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people. It's $15 for an insulin shot as opposed to $400.
At least he blinked.
$200 for any drug, all of the drugs that could begin next year. In a situation,
Listen, he's just reciting what he's memorized as fast as he can before he forgets that question. That's what it sounds like to
Thank
me.
you, President Trump.
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. I think everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID.
Why do they have
When
them
we
sitting so close together with their podium?
We ended up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created
No kids, trouble.
for our country, but other than that,
That's it. All he has to do is not fall asleep or fall down during this, and he made a good showing.
Higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, the bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job.
Looks like he's falling asleep over there.
Absolutely.
Hey, A3, how's it going, Rich? Good to see you, my friend. We're
the greatest economy in the world. He's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else that thinks that.
Listen to him ramble. Jeez.
Where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president has in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's had lost more jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant in the military, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that. When he was president.
That's good to hear, A3. I'm glad you get your calories in there.
He says, I'm the only president this century.
I see between his voice and his rambling, it's hard to even understand what he's trying to even say.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can. You want
to respond to him?
Well, I'm going to ask you a follow up. You can do whatever you want. It's a minute that we give you. I want to
the minute we give you.
There's a 10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China.
Night, A3. Thanks for stopping by, brother.
Money, reduce our deficit tremendously and give us a lot of power for other things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down and then they bounced back. And credit for bounce back jobs. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people.
Yeah, man, I've gotten some real good. I always like the little strawberry-filled cookies that they have for $1 at the dollar store. I guess it's like a shortbread. Strawberry jelly in them.
But we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
Yeah, how did he respond to that?
Years under both of
no response. 13 dead servicemen and
record highs. And according to a new
hundreds of dead civilians in Afghanistan.
Administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt. But so far, President Biden, you've approved $4.3 trillion in new debt. So, former President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year. You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
The tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. We spurred that tax cuts. When we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate taxes.
Some of those calm down. Some of those cookies are definitely pretty good.
We took in more revenue.
And you only find them at the dollar store.
And companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before. And we
Gizmo doesn't like Biden.
Down debt. We're already start using the liquid gold right under our feet. the oil and gas right under our feet.
Yeah, like
We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it, something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. We had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. And the vaccine went out. He did a mandate.
I've been seeing stories that the dollar stores are all going to be closing down a lot of the Family Dollars.
And he did a very poor
I don't really go to Dollar General because they've already been caught jacking people with the prices, charging more than there's tax. I just never liked the dollar. Now they even carry liquor down here, beer and wine, and fresh little food section like a grocery store. At the Dollar General.
All of the things he's done, we've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country.
Trump's exactly right on that.
He allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block. President Biden, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question.
What did he say?
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, he's got $2 trillion tax cut benefit to the very wealthy. Now, what I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America.
1,000 trillionaires.
What's happening?
We got 1,000 trillionaires.
2% taxes.
I don't think so, Joe.
25%, either one of those numbers. They'd raise $500 million. $1 billion, I should say.
Billion, yeah, it's all the same, Joe.
We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need.
They should know better than to give him numbers.
Making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the.
Again, he just says nothing. He talks fast. He tries to get through.
Look,
he's losing it. He's losing it.
We finally.
President
wait for that Mitch McConnell moment. They're going to jump in if he does. CNN's been trained there. They already know.
These people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security.
Yeah.
He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people. They cannot believe what happened to the United States.
The fact that Biden was not charged with the crime for stealing classified documents as a senator and as a vice president who has no ability to declassify. And the reason given is because he was too old and decrepit to stand trial. But he still could be president.
The first presidential election since the Supreme Court.
Oh, here's the CHAG.
This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho.
Yeah, you got those emergency abortions that you gotta.
Trump, you take credit for the decision.
And they've said it time and again.
Which returned
if a mother's life's in danger from having an abortion, it's in much greater danger.
Plays a role in whether or not
having the abortion than not having it, trying to have the child for the trauma. But, you know,
2/3
again, they don't like talking facts.
Would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex, but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives.
Yes, exactly. That's as did Hillary Clinton with 10 times worse with destroying her files and smashing her phone and her BlackBerry and having a private server in her home. And the FBI refused to prosecute her. Said no prosecutor would ever take that case. And and then Biden, doing that, spread out throughout 3 or 4 different properties from when he was a senator, even back before he was a vice president. Whereas Trump, all he has to do is think in his head, that's his will. This is declassified, and it is. And yet he's going to get run through the ringer on this. So, hey, Brad, how you doing, brother? We're watching Biden. He almost had a senior moment there. It looked like he was coming. It's still early in. He's they got the clock going up there, 6:15, 7:15. It's only been going on for 50 minutes. He's got 90 minutes to try to make it through.
I believe in the exceptions for rape and sex.
Yeah, no trouble. They don't. That does not go out of the media. You have to watch independent coverage on channels like I watch on all that. I'm always showing you guys a lot of from Black conservative perspective, and the quartering, and Benny Johnson, Black and White Sports, a number of all these channels that cut through all the bullshit and actually tell you, go through and drink. Tim Pool,
will kill the baby.
So yeah, you've got to actually look for it, because the mainstream media will tell you nothing they actually cover for them.
It's been a terrible thing what you do. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who said,
and then they keep asking what's going on with his chin, because he has like this giant double knot that's never been there in his chin when they zoom in. If you had like high definition, super TV, you could probably see it on a big screen. I can see it. It looks kind of distorted with the divot in there, but it's not like an even, like when you have the dimple in your chin, like the superheroes and stuff do. This is like they screwed up a plastic surgery or something on it. When you see that, this cavern, this crater in his chin, very bizarre. And then they've seen, I don't know, you've seen the pictures of the skin on the back of his neck when they'll do the back things where it collects up and pulls together from where it's been stretched so many times.
Thank you.
And,
there have been many young women murdered by the same people he allows to come
there you
across our
go.
border. We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world, considered the most dangerous
Say
place.
these 13-year-old and 12-year-old girls that have been just raped and murdered the last week from Biden's
They
people.
are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing.
Children.
As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states.
Had already been handled and released repeatedly.
In many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted.
Biden sitting with his mouth hanging open, trying to.
Which frankly,
Look at that sneer. What was that? What do you think was funny about that?
Ronald Reagan wanted it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back, and many presidents had tried to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it.
This is on my 55 inch. You see it here on it, and but still, when it's on through the laptop, my laptop's not that great, so
this is the same topic.
it doesn't have quite the best, highest definition, I don't think.
To a pregnancy, a woman can
And it still
obtain.
shows up very
Do
clearly.
you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I support Roe v. Wade.
Ah.
It's 3 trimesters. First time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state. The idea that
The woman in the state.
the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should
So that's
be
his way of saying, yeah, you
That's
can
what do.
take a child up till nine months.
So that means he can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican. Nobody wants it to happen.
You're lying. That is simply not true. The Roe v. Wade does not provide for that. That's not the circumstance. Only a woman's life is in danger. She's going to die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen. But we are not for late.
And again, if the woman's life's in danger that she's going to die, then she's not fit to have an abortion, is what I've heard from all the medical responses to that argument they always throw
I
out.
don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical.
What they don't talk about is the money they make off of the human tissue they sell from these fetuses. The more intact they get out and older, farther along, the more viable they are for tissues, and more money they get out of them. They just become like a Chinese, parts house that the Chinese do for their people, organ harvesting. It's it's nightmarish what these abortion clinics have become, and under the guise of helping women.
6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10.
And he's up there defending it.
Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and border security. President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states.
Yeah, trouble. Ideally there should be no abortions at all, but you have to look at reality. And,
security concerns. Given that, why should?
But yeah, there should be. If you're too stupid not to know by your second month of not having your period that you're pregnant, then no, you're you missed out. In 6 weeks is the latest. I think they should allow them to do it. Even then, it's I wouldn't want it. I would at least be done. But no, and any time after that, it's just again, it's just you're already irresponsible and idiots that do not know you're getting pregnant if you're having sex, or which of the 5 guys is the father. So, don't take it out on an innocent because you're pathetic and incompetent. And I think they should charge the women too. They should go after the doctors that perform these illegal abortions and charge the women too that are part of the same thing as go after the drug users and the drug dealers for the hard stuff.
I really don't know what he said at the end of this, and I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we have the safest border in the history of our country. All he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to.
You're shaking his head. I did not.
From mental institutions, insane asylum.
Oh, I saw a picture of Venezuelan prison the other day on YouTube, and
not just in
I don't know how many 100 guys sitting there on the ground lined up outside, and they just load them up and send them down here, or send them up here.
Because I didn't have legislation, I said close the border. We have the safest border in history.
Well, there's no way he can defend the border. Yeah, he looks lost. He's trying to think, what the hell can I say?
Who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president. But
hey, brother, what's going on in all things country? No, we're just laughing at Biden and listening to Trump shred him up while he looks lost, and his eyes look pretty juiced. They're pretty wide and black. Those pupils are pretty solid tonight.
The only terrorist
he can barely speak. He's trying to get it out.
Killed 3 under his administration. Killed Al Qaeda person coming in. Killed 3 American soldiers. Killed 3 American soldiers.
What are you talking about, Joe? We're talking about border, Joe.
The idea they're in a prison where they're welcoming these people is simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating. He's lying.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every...
Yeah, it's Trump versus a potato tonight on this, basically. Yes.
Our citizens, including those who have lived here for decades. And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed 3 people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi.
Yeah, heads of terrorist organization.
It had a huge impact on everything.
We're inviting their same henchmen into our country.
Hundreds of thousands of people.
Look at Biden.
Our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens.
And Joe, boy, he's such an egomaniac. He just can't stand having being called names like that. There, now you're really pissing him off. Look at his mouth.
Like these three incredible young girls over the last few days.
Yeah, there you
One of them
go.
I just spoke to the mother, and they just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country.
The blood is on his hands right there, Biden's hands directly, and the scum that are in his, you know. But that's the result. This is a criminal organization that has taken over our country through a fake election. This is what you get.
Destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all. And he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He is the worst. He's gotten rid of
He's gonna cry in the car. Yeah.
All of the different.
Look, now he's faded out. He went from being all stern. And I forgot what pissed him off that Trump called him. He can't remember the name Trump called him, but
he's done all these.
he called me something.
And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's exactly why they did everything. Because Trump had done it, they undid it.
People to come in. You know, a very sad day.
Oh, look, Biden's even wearing a flag pin for the first time ever.
Every single one. For example, if there's a
That's a lot. Every. Oh, look at
million of them now have insurance and their families have it. And their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or Burn Pit, they're all being covered now. And he opposed, his group opposed that. Also, in a situation where I have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq. And then he went next to one of those burn pits, came back with stage 4.
Oh, at least he remembered he didn't die there this time. Usually he says his son died in Iraq.
He did.
Hey, brother T, how you doing, my friend?
To the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was sitting with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker.
Oh, there he's tried to use that before.
President Trump?
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taking better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. I think that I would, in front of generals and others, say, suckers.
He had made a remark about,
people.
basically about, the piece of shit that was the Songbird Republican that got caught, you know, captured by the Vietnamese and was the Viet Cong. And
51 intelligence agents said that the
cooperated with them for propaganda, made the statements, recorded the statements, and while the rest of his squad was remained, you know, would refuse to do it, were tortured, and so yeah, he's considered a war hero, but instead he was basically a songbird, they call him, which is a soldier gets caught and does anything to help the enemy spread their propaganda and to better it for himself while he's in there, and that's McCain, John McCain. Another piece of shit that we have not missed since his passing at all.
That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
All right. Thank you so much.
Let's move to the topic of foreign policy. I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its third year.
T-Rev, T-Rev has got a nice array of variety there, brother, and I appreciate that.
It is already claimed, and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander-in-chief, if that's what you call him, that we've ever had. They can't stand him. So let's get that straight.
They have no respect at all for this kook.
And that's basically.
Look, there you go. There's the John Biden smirk.
As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, a president that knew, that was respected by Putin, he would have never.
Look at that face that he's holding on. Look at it. Oh man, that's that's gonna be a meme.
Those numbers, maybe triple those numbers.
Oh, he died a long time ago.
Russia for going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible.
Yeah. Chris W. I think he got my very first bottle.
Watched that and he saw the
And then Julie's right behind too, because Julie's gotten, I don't know, she's given away a number of hers too.
No love lost.
But Banshee, she's got quite a few.
Fired.
I know she's bought and gotten a lot from me, and she's given, I know, some to other people as well. So
Dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13.
yeah,
beautiful
I appreciate all you guys that have supported the pay dirts and over the years.
American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he said, "You know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take my."
I looked up and I had fallen asleep there, but I saw him moving.
He never would have invaded Ukraine. Never.
Scribbling.
Just
That
like
is some scribbling.
Israel would have never been invaded in a million
Yeah.
years by Hamas.
Trump's right about that.
Because Iran was broke with me.
When you give them $6 billion, they can do a lot of damage. Terrorists.
They had no money for anything. No money for terror.
They hadn't gotten any since Barack gave them their big pallets full of billions of dollars because,
was blowing up under
again,
him.
that's why Biden did it. Muslim Brotherhood. First queer president, Muslim Brotherhood. That's why we have queers for Palestine flags now.
There was brain damage for a number of these troops, and he did nothing about it. Not when he was president.
Yeah, Trump did nothing about
He said they just having headaches. That's all it is. But he didn't do a thing when the attack took place. Number one. Number two.
Again, Trump's known for being like the most proactive, pro-military president they've ever had. He ran thousands of scumbags out of the VA that they couldn't get rid of for being abusive and basically tormenting veterans, stealing from them and neglecting them and abusing them. But they couldn't fire him. He changed that.
Listen to what he said when he went in.
Listen to what he
said. Take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish. Kyiv. And he, in fact, didn't do it at all. He wasn't able to get it done. And they've lost thousands and thousands of troops. 500,000 troops.
President Trump,
I never said that.
For 1 minute, I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the territory.
Yeah, I'm at bottle number 65 is the next one for soul haters, but then I got a bunch of them out for, that have been, on giveaways and prizes and stuff like that. I don't know the number on those all together.
I don't think there's ever been anything like it.
Well over
Zelensky comes
100 for sure.
$60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying,
hey, Vester, how you doing, brother? Sitting here waiting to see if Biden's gonna collapse before the 90 minutes is up. They juiced him pretty good.
As president-elect, before I take off,
his eyes have been very wide and very, very black, pupilled, dilated. So
I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled.
I think they got more on him than just energy drink.
The fact is that Putin's a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people. And he has made one thing clear. He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire.
And yet your son did business with
and then you think you stop there?
Directly with the Russians and the Chinese. And you got 10% of it as the big guy.
Those NATO countries. And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, by the way, all that money we give Ukraine is weapons we make here in the United States, we give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And our NATO allies have produced as much funding.
I'm pretty sure that's a lie.
That's why we're strong.
They were paying off retirement accounts for Ukrainian money that was going
attacked
at
Israel,
one point.
killing more than 1,000 people.
Here's the one that's taking Biden down.
Among those
Nazi Islam.
still be alive are 5 Americans. Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a humanitarian
Not
crisis.
enough. They got thousands more to go through.
You've put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict.
Brother Mike, how's it going, Vendetta? Yeah, it is a joke, isn't it, brother?
Israel is continuing its military
Both
offensive.
of them, and then we got the Sea Hag and Jack Strapper there.
Israel to end the war. You have
Both of them have called Trump not Hitler, so yeah, they're real unbiased.
Security.
But check that out, Biden's wearing a flag, an American flag pin, showing his patriotism.
Which is 3 stages to it. The first stage is between the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas. Number one. They're the only ones saying that. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept. In the meantime,
This is what they practiced him on because he tries to get it out fast before he forgets all he's supposed to say.
It's a lot of innocent people who provide Israel with all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel. No one was hurt. No one Israel was accidentally killed, and it stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so there are 2 different things. Hamas cannot be allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people to how they can get Hamas like we did Bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way, they've been greatly weakened, Hamas, greatly weakened, and they should be. They should be eliminated. But you've got to be careful.
Hey, Brewers, how's it going, brother? Hope you're having a good night.
Just going back to Ukraine for 1 second. The ocean separating us. The European nations together.
It's an ocean separating us.
Or maybe more than that, less than us. Why doesn't he call them? So you got to put up your money like I did with NATO. I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any. They were going out of business.
He did say that. I heard the quote from him out of his mouth. Biden can smirk all he wants. They don't tell him those things. He doesn't know half the stuff that goes on because he actually believes that a lot of the crap he says about the economy and what a great job he's done because they let him believe that.
Israel and Hamas. Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one who wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
He's a weak Palestinian.
This is the guy who wants to get out of NATO. You gonna stay in NATO?
Yeah, get out of NATO. Hell yeah, we don't need to be in NATO. Or the United Nations or the Paris Accords.
Big ocean. If we're able to avoid a war in Europe, a major war in Europe, what happens if, in fact, you have who continue to go into NATO? We have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all. You want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about, go ahead. Let people go in.
When you have a weak, feckless leader of your country that invites invaders and aggression.
There's no idea what the hell he's talking about. I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South Korea, because they understand that this kind of dislocation is a serious threat to the whole world.
No, because they're fucking run by globalist pieces of shit.
We continue just to Europe.
President Trump, just to follow up, would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
Hell
We'll
no.
have to see, but before we do that, the problem is
That should be an easy question. Hell no, it's a dead zone.
Some trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations because of you.
All right, brother, Troubled, I appreciate it, my friend. You have a good night. Thanks for being here.
No, they don't want
Your stuff should be coming in tomorrow.
They're everything. They're agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this. I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question. Would you guard us against Russia at a very secret meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time? And I said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. I think you got a little fun with it there, brother.
Now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's
Thank you.
bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump, I want to
January 6th. Yeah, he knew that was coming.
Orders that day. Some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally.
Let's talk about the
As president, you swore an oath to quote preserve, protect, and
where they
defend
burned down the damn
Constitution.
country without
Voters who believe that you violated
any
that oath through
repercussion.
your actions and inaction on January 6th, and worry that you'll do it again.
Violated
Why
your
don't
oath.
too many believe that? And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few.
Yep.
On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever.
There you go. That's the answer. That's the right answer, Trump.
We were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United
Thanks,
States?
Master. You too, my friend.
This man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
Yeah, there you
We
go.
have 80 seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th?
No voters think that.
And worry that you'll do it
Only
again?
the
Well, I
media.
didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically.
I heard it
Nancy
speak. I
Pelosi
said they're listening
watched
to
the news from 2 days ago on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker.
And I
as they say.
remember whenever he
She said,
requested the
"Oh no, it's my responsibility. I'm
National Guard.
responsible for this." I offered her 10,000 soldiers or
and it
National
was,
Guard,
it was refused.
and she turned it down. And the mayor of, in writing, by the way, the mayor
Again, I
in
remember
writing
that.
turned it down. The mayor
Literally.
of DC.
I wanted to be there. I almost was.
I could see. I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there.
It just felt like you had to be whenever they steal the election from the United States of America president.
And I
It's,
said, to have some.
if that's not a call to action, I don't know what is.
And I offered it to her, and she now admits that she turned it down. And it was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar. She said, I take full
Yeah,
responsibility.
they just broken that video of her
President Biden.
admitting full responsibility for Pelosi.
He encouraged that.
And the mayor.
Number one.
You
I
know,
sat in the dining room off the Oval Office. He said
here he
for 3
goes,
hours.
trying to talk.
3 hours watching, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, call for a stop, to end it. Instead, they've talked like they should be patriots and great patrons of America. In fact, he says he'll not forgive them for what they've done. And
Yeah, he'll pardon every one of them.
Just commute their sentences. And
Some of these people have been held in jail since January 6th, 2020,
I don't know how many cases.
without trial.
Cases, including the Supreme Court.
That
They
is
said- they
the
said, no, this guy-
definition of
this guy is
unconstitutional.
responsible for doing what was done. He didn't do a damn thing. And these people should be in jail. And they should be the ones who are being held accountable. And he wants to let them all out. And now he says that he loses again, such a whiner that he is.
Such a whiner that he
Thank you,
is.
President Biden. President Trump.
Oh, he's got to call him a name.
Some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. What you have done, how
Yeah.
you've destroyed the lives of so many people. When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down
There you go.
many other
Number
cities.
love.
You go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, what they've done there with the fires all over the city. If I didn't
Every
bring in the
blue
National
lip
Guard,
card
the city
in the
would
whole
have been
city.
destroyed. When you look at all of they took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard that, they saw them coming, and they left immediately.
Armed
What he
takeover.
said about this whole subject is so off. Peacefully patriotic. One other thing, the Unselect Committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now, out of office, and
Yeah.
Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that.
Yeah.
If a Republican did
Tucker
that,
Carlson.
Thank you, President Trump. President
Broke
Biden.
it out and showed it.
The only person on the stage is a convicted felon is now.
Thanks to Joe. There you go.
What he's telling you is simply
The only
not true.
person a convicted
Felon said
because I attacked my political opponent.
What's going on?
That was a bad move.
All those people, every one of those who were convicted deserves to be convicted. The idea that they didn't kill somebody, that's when
They didn't kill anybody.
Windows, occupied offices, turned over
The
desks.
Capitol Police shot an innocent girl.
The idea that those people are patriots.
Actually, by Brad, I
When I asked him the first
can't remember her name.
debates we had, the debates we had that first time around, I said, "Will you?"
A veteran,
Proud Boy.
unarmed.
He said, "No, I'll tell them to stand by." The idea he's refusing to do, when we denounce these guys,
Oh, now they're trying to bring up the Proud Boys again from
we denounce the
3
people who
years.
attack that Capitol.
Look at
What are you
this.
gonna do?
What do you do? He's trying to.
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked about members of the select committee on January 6th going to jail. But your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now
There
it's a
you
failing
go. That's
nation.
what he said
My
exactly.
retribution is going to be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted, going to be convicted probably numerous other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death caused at the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion if you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor, having to do with the son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. Well, you want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie.
Yeah.
Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong.
What he does again, they just say the very things that they've been doing. He's gonna scold you on.
The crimes that you are still charged with, and think about the penalty.
The crimes.
Or molesting a woman in public, or doing
Molesting a woman.
things, of having sex with a porn star.
Not a crime. Not a crime.
What are you talking about?
There's a woman right now that Joe molested and has fled the country. Lives in Russia because she's been hounded. It's coming out about his sexual assault on her.
High-ranking official
Tara-
at DOJ in
Tara
the
Reid.
DA's office to start that case.
And he has
That case is
again
gonna
the
be appealed and won.
just the
Very
ability to say that.
Democrat.
again when he's responsible
high-ranking
for the very
Democrats
thing he
appointed
accuses
people
Trump of
and
being
it's
accused
both the
of
civil
meaninglessly.
and the criminal. He basically went
Yeah.
after his political opponent
Yep.
because he thought it was going to damage me. But when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these things are. When they found
You
out
should
about
bring
these
out that
cases,
report that said he's not competent to stand trial. Point that out.
we took it
by his own
for
Justice
the last
Department.
2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken. Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy.
Yeah.
Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The
Yeah.
more they know
Yeah.
about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases on the road coming.
I wouldn't be surprised if Trump pushes 100 million votes in 2024.
I do know he has a real problem. And so the fact that, could you ever think you heard any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? Ever hear any president say that I thought he had some good ideas? I'd be involved to run the first place after my son had died. I decided in Iraq, because of Iraq, I said I wasn't going to run again. until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia.
But yeah, which was nothing. Again, just a fantasy.
Torches and singing the same instrumental file they sang when he went back in.
Joe's trying to get it out, but he's losing it.
And they asked him, they said, what do you think of those people? The people who
Does that sound like someone who's sharp-witted and can communicate?
What American president, whatever said, Nazis coming out of fields, carrying torches, singing.
Again, he's trying to make, just making stuff up. Rally, that's again, just let him talk.
So the guy says he's done some good things. I like to know what they are. Good things that he's done.
Look at his wrinkly forehead there, the old skin, the skin pulls giving stretching.
Jake, both of you know that story has been totally wiped out.
Yeah.
Because when you see the sentence, it said 100% exoneration on that story. He just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville. He didn't run because of Charlottesville. He ran because it was his last chance. And he's not equipped to be president. You know it, and I know it. It's ridiculous. We have a debate. We're trying to justify his presidency. His presidency is, without question, the worst.
We're trying to justify his
in
presidency.
the history of our country.
That's exactly right.
Debate about it. There's nothing to debate. He made up the Charlottesville story, and you'll see it's debunked all over the place. Every anchor has, every reasonable anchor has debunked it.
Yeah, you
And
do
just
accept
the other day
it.
Came out where it was fully debunked. It's a nonsense story. He knows that, and he didn't run because of Charlottesville. He used that as an excuse to run.
Yeah.
In debunk, it happened. All you have to do is listen to what was said at the time. And the idea that somehow that's the only reason I ran. I ran because I was worried.
Hey, Joe, camera's over here, Joe.
If you thought they were good people coming out of that forest, carrying those
Out of that forest.
torches.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's. Oh.
Didn't deserve to be president at all. And the idea that he's talking about all this being fabricated, we saw with our own eyes. We saw what happened in January 6th. We saw the people break into windows. We saw people occupying them. His own vice president. Look, there's a reason why 40 of his 44 top cabinet officers refused to endorse him this time. His vice president has endorsed him this time. So
Yeah, because they're rhinos. We don't want their endorsement. They're part of the group we are removing. The GOP is being dismantled.
With more from the CNN.
Oh, yeah, there's the first break. All right. So there you go. You got a lot of, I got a lot of Joe there. I don't know what to make of that. Let's see, what do we have here?
When I have customers come in.
Does it let me move the camera around while it's
I
playing?
recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while.
Oh yeah, okay. I would try again. Very right. Go get a thing.
Makes my day.
America is 3 words. Amazing. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting little run there we got going.
Propose an $80 billion.
This is one of the rare times they said when they actually have commercials on for the presidential debates. And again, this is where they let's see, is this even running? Am I even tuning in still? Did it flip? So as I'm testing to see, wasn't sure what it does whenever you actually have it in StreamYard, if I can manipulate the camera once it's going or not. So it seems like I was able to flip it. And I need to have my glasses back on to see what it was. Yeah, he gets lost. No shit. So what about what did you say there? Oh, you like the mute? You like the muted? They were saying that would probably help. That would probably help Trump because he was the one that would step in more and give Biden, put the pressure on him to have to actually finish those full however many minutes that he has. He's got to keep talking, and yeah, you could see that one time though. Whenever he was trying to get that thought out, it was quiet there. But I can just see it. It's just trying to stay focused and concentrate because he's like on a tight wire there, where he just can't. whereas Trump's up there just he spent his day today, at another speech before this, doing a rally, and all for the 7 days that Biden's been just imagine taking off 7 days at a time with all this, just tumultuous, political upheavals going on, the invasion of the country, and you're just being destroyed in so many states in the polls on re-election, and but you've got to take 7 full days of hiding out, being sequestered, to be able to spend 90 minutes talking to the guy that you keep saying is so incompetent, is so unable to do anything, is messed up. So he should be a breeze to take Trump out whenever he's just that horrible and that easy and that incompetent. And yet, as we often keep seeing from them, they cannot do that. They cannot beat him. Hey, Patrick, Joe's meant to wear it out. Yeah, brother, I know that's what they're worried about. I'm wondering if I think Trump is already done. I think he might have taken a drug test before this, but calling for it. But yeah, I've always been saying I wanted to see Biden, Hunter, that Hunter should have a drug test when they. Oh, okay, here we go.
Presidency, Black families still earn far less than white families. Black mothers are still 3 times more likely to die for pregnancy-related causes, and Black Americans are imprisoned at 5 times the rate of white Americans. What do you say to Black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
He acknowledged he made a lot of progress. Number one.
Well, yeah, well, that's all right. Oh, yeah, things are wonderful. It's just like the economy. You're just looking at the wrong stuff.
The lowest level spending in a long, long time. Number 3.
What's going on, Pajama Mama? How you doing? Yeah, I was in my glasses on. I thought I was seeing Panama, but that's Pajama Mama. All right. Well, thank you for joining in on the show here. Look at that. When they do that shot there, you can see that again, that chin. When you look back at past pictures of it, it was not like that. that double offset, like a big divot's taken out of his bone or something. It just looks creeps me out. Everything about this dude creeps me out, though. Pretty much. He's a pretty good guy. Oh, I know. He keeps shooting and it's like those smirky, evil kind of glares sometimes that he does, and then it's just the one where he just looks like he's got his mouth open, trying to absorb what he's saying. Because I'm going to have to comment on this. What was I supposed to remember?
Voters who are disappointed with the progress so far.
I say I don't claim to be disappointed. Inflation is still hurting me badly.
Actually, I have to give credit where it's due on this, and CNN has been much more straightforward on this than I was expecting them to be, as far as fairness goes, and the questions that are not all just gotcha questions for Trump, or what ice cream do you like for Biden? Yeah, he's a puppet. It's that's why Obama lives within 5 minutes of the White House, the only president to ever stay in Washington with his 8 years were up. They get out fast, but Obama's been happy to stay there because
he's blaming inflation.
There you go. He's
right. This has been very bad. He caused the inflation. And it's killing Black families and Hispanic families and just
that's why everybody. Black votes 30% for Trump now, after it was usually 5% for Republicans. 30%. That destroys them. They've already lost. If that's accurate poll, it holds up.
This inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation.
And that's Black men that are casting that vote.
He destroyed it with his Green New Scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there,
a lot of people are hearing this for the first time.
on the black
because they
people.
do not say this on this network or any of the MSDNC or any of the alphabet networks.
19 and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you. President Biden?
There was no inflation. The president know why the economy was flat on its back. 50% unemployment. He decimated the economy. Absolutely decimated the economy.
Yeah.
That's why there was no inflation at the time.
It was, it had sucked dry by COVID. And it was coming back for the second time in full force. And he inherited it and ran it to the ground.
If the ACA has
Yeah, man, the Mexicans are taking all the black jobs.
Get written off for healthcare, but this guy wants to eliminate that. They tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again.
You can always tell he's lying when he does his eyes up like that, because he's trying to get that lie across, makes all that gross wrinkly skin appear. Again, it's
he wants to cut the costs.
between the hair plugs on the top and the skin stretching for the facelifts.
There's a lot going on.
A lot, it get a lot of distortion on the head, face.
Reasons in the way he handles the pandemic.
Thank you. Another persistent challenge is the climate crisis.
Oh,
2023
geez.
was
Climate
the hottest year in recorded history, and communities across the country are confronted.
Oh no, it was hot this year, so that's got to be climate change. Let's build more windmills and pay China more money to take toxic metals out of the ground and
Your opponents
force people to drive electric cars.
Any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
Yes, I will shut down the EPA.
How close the police are there. Almost every police group in the nation from every state
It's,
is supporting Donald J. Trump.
yeah.
Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that.
Look, it was like, oh, what? Hey,
And they've taken great offense.
think you let him get away with that?
When they see what I did for criminal justice.
Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Yeah, it's
universities.
it's great that they're showing and that they're showing side by side screens on this. I didn't think they would do that either, because usually they protect Joe and that, but they are keeping both of them on the screen all the time, so you see all his stupid expressions. And oh, they cut away before he picked his nose. They couldn't risk that. I thought Joe's gonna go for it.
We have the
Hey, Dan Homesu, yeah, watching the Trump, yeah, the Bernie's lost weekend, yeah.
He's lost much of the black population because he's done a horrible
No,
job for
no.
people. He's also done a horrible job for
They were all laughing at him that he was going to be down in the
they're going to take the jobs.
projects having a rally, and
Yet it's a disaster.
they come out of the far and wide to see
As
Trump.
president to slow the climate crisis.
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water.
Yep.
And I want absolutely clean air. And we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever. And we were using all forms of energy, all forms, everything. And yet, during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers.
Yeah, America's it's so far below any other country as far as pollution and the shit that they want.
Where the hell he's been?
Oh, yeah.
Guarantee it.
Where the hell he's been?
All passed the most extensive climate change legislation.
Oh, I know, man, but it's really hard to watch. And again, I'm glad that they got Trump next to him, so that it's not just his face on the screen with that decrepit voice.
It's a kind of he
Got listed, try to ramble through an answer.
Students capable of college are doing any white student can do.
Although he's the one that said, poor students are just as counted as white students. You know.
Cleanest water. Cleanest water.
Yeah.
The damn thing. The Paris Peace Accord.
That's right. It was great to get out of the Paris Climate Accord. All they wanted is to get you to pay money for crap. Whereas when they let China and India go freestyle on 10,000 times what we put out. Hey, Comer, what's going on, brother?
$1 trillion, and China nothing, and Russia nothing. And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the solar cycles, don't have any effect on temperature on Earth. They still don't understand that we're actually farther away in the summer than we are in the winter, and how that works, because
before insulin. I'm the one
distance
for the seniors. I took care of the seniors. What
Yeah.
he's doing is destroying all of our medical programs because the migrants coming in.
No, he's sitting there with his mouth open,
I have the
trying
biggest
like,
smile on this page, I guarantee you that.
oh, there you go. That's all loud.
They're taking over our schools, our hospitals, and they're going to be taking over Social Security. He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
No doubt.
The idea is that we, in fact, we were one the consequence of not members of the Paris Accord. How can we do anything if the United States can't get us?
We're great. We're not the problem. The rest of these pieces of shit are the problem.
Significant progress. By 2035, we will have close to half. We made significant
2035, yeah.
We set up a climate corps.
Just like it, whenever I said, I was back in school in '95, they were teaching the glaciers were going to be down into Canada in 20 years. That was in 94.
He claims that he was the biggest part of it.
So 2014 came in, that they're crying that the glaciers have disappeared.
I've never seen any case for that. And by the way, with regard to
they're crying that the water level's coming up, but first thing these rich fuckers do is buy them like Obama's, $1 million oceanfront property, but they want you to pay carbon taxes and drive electric cars because you're melting the ice caps.
So every day,
They're gonna flood New York.
Americans struggle just to make ends meet. For many older Americans, Social Security provides a critical lifeline. President Biden, if nothing is done to Social Security, seniors will.
Yeah, exactly. All things. It was going to be underwater by 2012, I think. That's what Gorsuch said, because again, that's 99. So they can always make every 10 or 12 years, once their predictions fail, they come up with something new. And again, instead of saying, well, if you're wrong once, okay, you're wrong twice, I'm not listening to you anymore. Every time they come up with a new prediction, they act like they've been on the spot on every time, and they've never been right, and they still keep listening to, the same thing like with the whole Biden administration. They've been proven to be outright liars and, thieves and criminals. So why would we listen to anything that they say?
Guarantee the programs in life.
Biden was declared incompetent to stand trial, and because of age and mental faculties, and yet he remained president. And the Republicans are about to lock up the AG. Again, he's lying about Social Security. You want to lock up the Attorney General now for not releasing. They said, well, you've got the transcript. That's all you need. But we've already seen that the White House has changed all the official transcripts every time Biden flubs a line or stammers or whenever you look at the transcripts, they've shown them from those times. They've been either redacted out, or it says, indistinguishable, or edited completely, so he doesn't sound like a babbling idiot all the time in the transcripts. So what they have down for him that he said that they declared him incompetent on does not mean that's what it is. That's why they want to have the voice recordings of him being questioned and what declared him to be unable to stand trial for document, felony espionage, document stealing, because he's too old and decrepit. Again, he's been rambling all this time and hasn't said anything.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
So I've dealt with politicians all my life. I've been on this side of.
So you can understand Trump when he talks.
8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. I've never seen him look you in the face. So many other things too. We mentioned the laptop. We mentioned Russia, Ukraine. Everything he does is a lie. It's misinformation and disinformation. The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total lie on the military. It's a disgrace. But Social Security.
Oh, did my cat sit on the mouse? Hey now. Yeah, all things country. I've followed the stuff with the acid rain that y'all have up there for decades now. And damn it, what did you do, cat? Sorry, you guys. There's the Biden Trump. Oh, come on. All right, there we go. He clicked it on. I don't even know how that does that where it opens up a new screen completely. I hit it all the time with this mouse and it. Okay. Damn. Hopefully it'll pick up where it left off. Sorry, guys. Yeah, technical difficulties here on the. And I do not have, like I said, I got an old decrepit laptop. The screen doesn't work on it, so I run the HDMI into the TV set here. And now Mozilla's having issues. I've become a Firefox user more than the what you call it, Chrome. What the fuck is this now? The cat, she came over and just kind of laid down and rolled over on the mouse. Yeah, the puppet. I've seen his. I've seen them do his things on. Come on, what the hell is this? All right, let's just. Uh, I've seen them do the guy that does that on YouTube. Yeah, comparing them to. Well, crap, you guys. I'm sorry. One cat in a screwed up a weak laptop made an issue on the live stream commentary here. All right, now it's reloading. Well, crap. Yeah, I need to have it on my phone since I can't. Now Firefox has got to install updates. This piece of shit. Well, I see you guys. So that I'm going by your comments on the questions that you're getting on the stream there. Oh, come on. So they got to you really got to load the whole damn take this time to load up fire and it never do this. Chrome used to always do this all the time. It pissed me off because it would take forever to load up a damn load up Chrome. No, I'm not even finding the I'm not even seeing the live stream on my phone. Hmm. Well, you guys, I don't know. Maybe it's taking so long. It may be over. Oh, I see that RFK is holding a debate of his own during this. All right, now yeah, just start a new session. I don't care. Just bring back my damn.
Even another 4 years, I will be the best. I think I'll be the best.
I'm listening to it on my phone while it's reloading here.
Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to expire. So everybody, including the two of you, are going to pay 4 to 5 times.
I see that on the poll on Newsmax, 97% say Trump's winning the debate. No surprise there.
Apple and all these companies, they were bringing money back in.
No, my cat sat on my mouse, T-Rep, and it jumped my screen, and I had to reset it. Now I'm waiting for it to reload. I have a piece of crap laptop. That's why I do all my editing on my phone. I'm listening to the debate on my phone while I'm waiting for it to reload here.
That's going to cost the average American $2,500 a year because they're going to have to pay the difference.
Oh, geez, Biden numbers.
Two, he's in a situation where he talks about how he has not raised.
Come on, you piece of shit. Load up and let's go.
Devastated by you. Now you want to do a tax cut of $5 trillion over the next 10 years, which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country.
No, Trump wants to shut down the IRS completely and replace income tax with tariffs. I think that's a good plan. That's the way it's supposed to be to begin with. The income tax is unconstitutional and illegal.
Let's discuss an epidemic impacting
Operation.
millions of Americans that both of you have made a top priority in your first term, the opioid crisis. And for both of you, the number of
Biden
deaths
said
in
it's a
this
real
country
priority for Biden.
under your term, it went up. Under your term, it is
Letting
going
them
up.
slow it in
Former
freely,
President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have
unabated.
made, more than 100,000 Americans are dying from overdoses every year,
RFK.
primarily from fentanyl and other opioids. What will you do to help Americans right now in the throes of addiction or struggling to get the treatment they need?
Finish up. We now have the largest
We're
deficit.
struggling to get the treatment they need.
All right, we're back and rolling for the finish up. So sorry, you guys. I'll keep the remote away from the cat.
Under this guy, we have the largest deficit with China.
Go ahead and shut down
By China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China.
the chat.
So I think he's afraid to deal with them. Something. He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we saved our steel industries, and there was more to come, but he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country.
Trump's just been shredding him because there's no way he can defend his policy.
Own us if you keep allowing them.
Yo, on
to do what
Fox.
they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're just killing our
I
country.
try to support Newsmax as much as I can.
67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
Jake, we were doing very well at addiction until the COVID came along. We had 2.5, almost 3 years of like nobody's.
I'm surprised you call it the COVID. He calls it the Wuhan.
And then we had to get tough, and it was the drugs pouring across the border were. It started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the Sit and Dog. That's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot. And we were getting very low numbers, very, very low numbers.
The super drug dogs.
Have you seen the numbers now? It's not only the 18 million people that I believe is even low because
more than 18.
They don't even talk about gotaways. The numbers
of 25 to 30 billion if they're hitting 18.
Coming across our border, the worst thing I've ever seen. Numbers that nobody's ever seen.
And he can stop it all with his
the number of drugs
dictatorish
is the largest we've ever had by far.
So, Trump, thank you, President.
Executive orders that he had no problem signing more executive orders than any president I think in history because they had a long laundry list for the libtards they had for him as soon as as soon as they got him in that seat. You got to remember, this guy didn't even have 1% support during the
numbers of
primaries for the 2020 election. Even nobody wanted him.
We had that deal done. He called his Republican colleagues and said, "Don't do it. It's going to hurt you politically." He never
And
had
Kamala
this.
Harris,
It's a
Kamala, he called him a racist. Said he wanted, just call him out as a blatant racist for his past comments. And of course, they say anything they have to win, and it all is meaningless because she was more than happy to ignore his racism to become the first DEI black woman hire for in the highest position ever.
Well, this consists of pretend it. He ended Remain in Mexico.
Yep.
He ended Catch and Release. I
Yep.
made it Catch and Release in Mexico, not Catch and Release.
First
here.
thing he signed.
So many things that we had done, hard negotiations with Mexico, and I got it all for nothing. It's just like when you have a hostage, we always pay $6 billion for a hostage. Every time we say a hostage, we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter. I think a good guy, and he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly as soon as I take office. Before I take office, I said, by literally, as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago. Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of
I'll
dollars.
bet he'll
because that
have
guy pays every
the
time.
Marine that we left over there in place of piece of shit Brittany Griner,
58 people out, and I paid essentially
a
nothing.
no-name basketball player,
Let's turn to concerns that voters have about.
rightfully arrested for smuggling drugs to their country and left a
At the end of your second term. How do you address concerns?
American soldier there in place of this
ability
piece
to
of shit.
handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s?
Oh yeah, they won't bring that up, Pajama Mama. That he just actually recently said that he was not going to refill them at this time because it would spike the price before the election. So he, again, when we're in the most tumultuous and uncertain times with all the other aggressors around the world, for us to have drained our supply that's not supposed to be touched, sold some of it to China, used the rest to drop the prices to help him during elections, and again it's drained, sucked it dry. Whereas Trump had added like at 70%, because Obama did the same thing. These trash people do all the same stuff. They shit where they eat. So that's their style. That's why they're so medically disgusting.
I convinced Samsung to invest billions of dollars here in the United States. And
He's talking like he knows any of these things.
To build these chips, those fabs pay over $100,000. They don't need a college degree for them. And there's billions, about $40 billion already being invested and being built right now in the United States, creating significant jobs for Americans from all over the world.
President Biden, you have 40 seconds left. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I would. The idea that somehow we are this failing country. I never heard a president talk like this before.
Yeah, and Obama, he apologized everywhere he went around the world when he was his little queer ass was out bad mouthing America, just like all the drag queens do that were just there in Washington for they needing their extra rights to be able to, play girls' sports, even though they're clearly men. So yeah, no. Again, if these people are talking, they're lying. That's why they get along so well with the Nazi Islam sect, because the same thing we've never dealt with an Islamic country that wasn't full of shit and lied out of their asses everything that they said. Can't trust any of them at all.
To serve.
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them. Both of them, as you know, and we made it public. You took one. I'd like to see you take one. Just one, a real easy one. I go through the first 5 questions. You couldn't do it. I took 2 cognitive tests.
You can laugh about it there, but no, I'm not going to do it. Or a piss test.
We knock on wood wherever we may have wood. That I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships. Not even
He's a golfer.
club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart. And you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm.
Yeah, now you're insulting my golf game.
25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably.
We've seen you fall off a bike. You can't walk across the tarmac.
I was
pretty sure you can't make it over a golf course. Can you imagine Biden a sand trap?
Well, I aced him. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's
Yeah, all things. Yeah, he's just putting out dust.
Never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you.
No, those are not Biden's real teeth.
He is 6'5" and only.
The bottom was maybe, the top was he's got
6'4", 200. So anyway,
he's not sucking his dentures the way Nancy does.
Somebody is. Look, I'll be happy.
But I bet you he's got some pieces in there. All these people are so just corrupt. That's why their teeth rot out there, and they look so decrepit, and their skin even. It's just when you're an evil, nasty person, it comes through in so many different ways. Deviants. He's a deviant. He's a perv. They don't brag so much about how he cheated with his wife. Jill cheated on her husband with him, before before his wife was lost. So yeah, the trauma of his wife, and you were cheating on her, Joe. Yeah, we know how much it meant to you.
Right now,
but he used it political. He's used it for political currency all the time.
It's totally unacceptable. And if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest.
I think they could have his test. Hunter, when he came into court, they keep talking about his past drugs. No, do a hair follicle test. I want to see that you've been off that shit for all this long as you say yeah, because I don't believe it for a second. I think you're still fucking doing it, and it'll show up in your fucking, probably still in your piss test, definitely if not in your hair, very recently.
More than anybody.
But they'd never do that. But yeah, he's why would you let me go? Why would you let him into Congress whenever you're accused of all the drug stuff? And it should be testimony on not being a drug addict. Now, well, here,
because he indicted me.
You're just going to drug court. They make you take a piss test. Any guy off the street.
I don't mind being here. The only reason I'm here is he's so bad.
And the fact that you found cocaine in the White House. Let's see if your cocaine dates back in your hair, 8 months ago or whatever that was.
Nation, because of him, his policies are so bad.
Trump's been pounding him all with the facts, though.
Insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him.
Yep.
He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un.
Definitely all things. I still remember whenever they locked down y'all's truckers and made them lock down their accounts.
Into World War III.
That piece of shit. He's y'all need to get him out of there.
Do what you want, NATO.
Oh, look at those eyes. Look at how Biden's eyes. Did they give him during that commercial break that extra dose is kicking in?
An idea. I can't think of a single major leader in the world who would great place with the job I've done. Because we are a powerful nation.
Well, he's half right where he says he couldn't think of a single nation in the world, but he generally saying nations. Name 5 nations.
Just for Putin to go ahead and take Kyiv, make sure they move on, see what happens in Poland, Hungary, and other places.
Oh, I know, John Mama. They're all over scumbags. Nadler. Yeah, Maxine Waters, that fish mouth, fucking
regardless of
James Brown Jr. hairdo that she's been known for.
They took a lot of land from Bush. They took a lot of land.
They're all pieces of trash. Pencil neck Jeff, went up there and lied to Congress repeatedly. Nothing. No consequences at all.
He knew that. I got along with him very well, but he knew
against the president of the United States lying
from me. And now he's going to take the whole thing from this man right here. That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started ever with me. And he's going to take Ukraine. And, you know, you asked me a question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position.
100 million Russians against whatever's left in Ukraine. You're not going to win that war. Yet Biden immediately shut down peace talks within a few months of whenever they got into it, started supplying the weapons and sending them money.
Cities with the golden domes that are 1,000
and paying off, of course, a lot of that money was going to the same corrupt people that he said fire them to keep out of there to protect his son.
Regardless of who wins, yes or no.
Maurice? Oh, there's the question. Yeah, if you can accept.
Absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. That if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. I will absolutely. There's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that than running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country. I would be very happy to be someplace else in a nice location.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do this. He's a billionaire.
No political opponent stuff, because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's driven up my numbers and driven them up to a very high level because the people understand it.
Let's see what your numbers are when this election is over.
Yeah.
You
whiner.
You continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims.
That's right, because none of them would take them. None of them, all of them refused to even see them, to look at them. And then that's what they used as their excuse for how they were all refused by the court. Total lie.
There's no evidence to that at all.
Total lie.
And I'll tell you what.
I sat there and watched them put the pizza boxes over the windows so the viewers couldn't see in there as they were playing with the votes up in Boston or Philadelphia, wherever the crap it was.
With more
Just
presidential
pathetic.
from Georgia.
Yeah. Well, that's I don't know, man. It's Trump's definitely just, manhandling him with at least definitely with the facts. He's I don't think the smirks and the stupid expressions from Biden are serving him very well on hey, you guys are serving him very well on that side camera. I wonder if he knows or is remembering that, that they're showing you all the time, Joe. And yeah, I saw that. I saw that Kennedy, whenever I was looking to call this back up, that Kennedy was doing a debate. I didn't know he was debating himself. Oh, that's pretty funny. So yeah, but I got my little guides here. Here's my newest little addition, Guinevere. She's not the one that hit the remote. It was the big one. I think she's too little, too light to even for the remote to feel her hit it. But yeah, they're hanging out here with me watching the show. They'll look at me whenever I'm sitting there talking, like, what the hell are you ranting about there? But it's that's pretty telling. You see Biden, like I said, I think they like right now, I'd rather them not do commercials than see the feed of where, are they staying on stage? Is Biden able to go over and empty his diaper? Or are they bringing him out, they've got the IV in his arm. They pull down his shirt sleeve and stick the bag in and give him a squeeze and boost him back up during the commercial. Then, because they do those things now where it leaves, basically it's just an IV left in your arm. They cap it, tape it off, then except whatever they maybe even run down to his sleeve. So then all they have to do is pull his sleeve up, squirt it in, hit it up, and then go good to go. I don't know, but yeah, he's doing that where he's talking to him and his eyes are all big and he's, forehead's all wrinkled up and geez. I saw they were doing a video of him where he was talking and he's I forget what he's ranting about, but he the whole time for 2 minutes or something, 2.5 minutes, he doesn't blink. And they were doing it on CNN and it was one of their like fake, one of their it was one of their own that they were talking about, but even they were just saying though they were playing this going, is this a deep fake, because they're talking about deep fakes. Is it a deep fake or is it AI or real? And she's going, well, no, that I would say, yeah, definitely that is a deep fake. That's AI. He's not blinking. He's all, and then the girl's going, no, that's real. That is, we validate it for the location, so and so, and but again, they're, it's the same people that produce the deep fakes that we're talking about. It's so I don't know. Yeah, but I mean but even their own people could not tell the difference. You're thinking that Biden looked like it was a deep fake that on him sitting there talking with not blinking his eye. I mean, I watched it the whole time. He doesn't blink his eyes. They were like that one. He did blink during that encounter there where he was with them. Okay, hold on.
We've made significant progress.
Oh, is it the wrap up?
President Trump in his last term. We found ourselves.
Yeah, he's a liar. Got votes from
We have to make sure that we have a fair tax system.
Well, and millions from exactly those mail-in ballots that they were taking, just handfuls of, stealing them out of people's mailboxes. Just and had boxes and boxes of them to back up because
this guy is has increased his
this guy.
deficit. Number one, he's increased inflation because of the
so pathetic. But they learned from Hillary. That's why when Hillary, they didn't announce the winner till 3:30 because they were trying to pull out every vote that they could, because she didn't get nearly the votes that they ended up counting because so many of those were fraudulent. But they didn't have to bother looking into it. They were able to, burn all of it and get it done. So the next election, they were ready, and whenever the vote was so much 80 million, they were not expecting 80 million votes again for Trump, and they had to pull them out of everywhere, and that's why they dragged it out for days and kept coming up with more and more votes to put Biden over. And I don't think he had scored more than 40 million votes for him in the election total in real life.
All of Almost happening now, and everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that.
Yeah, he might not have gotten his boost.
Child care. They're going to significantly increase the credits people have for child care. They're going to make sure we do something.
It's like he struggled to talk,
Causing health problems for people across the country. We're going to continue to crack inflation and give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
And a lot of contrast.
So many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do, all he does is make our country unsafe by allowing.
He was in politics for 50 years before he became president.
Our military doesn't respect him. We looked at force in Afghanistan. We didn't stop.
He left by doing so much worse.
That would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times.
Exactly.
The whole country is exploding because of you, because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut.
Yeah, Biden chose to let Trump have the last word.
He's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on.
He got one of them got to choose one thing, one got to choose the other.
We've never seen anything like, even from a medical standpoint.
Biden chose whatever, so that gave Trump the option. He chose to speak last, which is what you want.
Trying to get, when you were terminally ill, now you can go and you can get something.
Yeah, right to try.
They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was an incredible choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves, and they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the
But yeah,
VA.
no audience,
All of these
no
things were
interrupting
very
ability to
but
make
it's
a
not
real
gonna be
debate. There's
showing
something
anymore.
that
Make
needs
it
to be
great again.
interrupted and
Thank you,
called out
former
in
President
the
Trump.
time.
President Biden, stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate. Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett starts now on CNN.
So there you go, full analysis. Well, my analysis is that Biden actually survived it and made it through standing up and didn't have a Mitch McConnell moment. So they'll say, "See, he's fit to be president." Again, we'd like to see him come off the stage and take a drug test and exactly see what's in him, what they've been dosing him with to get us through that. But yeah, he had some bulging eyes there on a few of those little but again, yeah, the smirking and the that's just that weird side eye crap he does. John Mullen, thank you for being here. I enjoyed that. Appreciate you, T-Rep. You too, brother. ATC. That was great having you here, Amethyst and Culver. Thank you guys so much. It's been it was interesting. My first time doing this, and yeah, without the laptop, I wasn't sure how it would work doing it running it on the screen there. But for what it was, I will probably do another one of these for do another one of these for like election night when it comes around. So, all right, my friends, thank you, Cole. You have a good night too. Brad, appreciate it, brother. Happy fans to you. Good luck out there. And all things countrymen. Hopefully, you guys can again get we'll both our countries will get straightened out. Get some people in charge there that aren't out for the destruction of their own homes. All of ours. So again, thank y'all so much. And until the next time, bye you go, guy. Say it. Thanks for joining us here. And America first. Peace out, my friends.
I think anyone who